So I picked up this blue romper at New York and Company one day, and it was on the as is sale rack, and I'll explain why in a second. I thought it was really cute. I love the color, and the fabric is really great quality. And it wasn't until I got home, because I didn't try it on in the store, that I realized how kind of constricting it felt. Every time I lifted my arms, the shorts would ride up, and there would just have to be a lot of adjusting. Also, there was this small tear, which you can see right there on the side. So I decided to fix it to fit me a little bit better. So the first thing I wanted to do was flip the romper inside out. And I just took my time kind of inspecting how it was constructed and put together, looking at the seam, the stitch style, where things were hidden, where things were placed. I was looking at the fabric, making sure that it wasn't anything that would be too thin to work with. Also, once I took it apart. I will note later what the fabric is. I don't know at the moment. And then there I'm just looking at what they did before me, preparing to seam rip and just trying to figure out the best way to go about taking these two pieces apart. So then from there, I inspected the outfits, the wound, or the hole, the reason that it was on the as-is rack, and noticed like how it was put together, how they had sewn it, and that this would be the perfect spot to take the seam ripper and start deconstructing it. So unfortunately, I forgot to take some video of actually seam ripping it and taking it apart. But as you can see in the freeze frame where the threads are, I used my seam ripper tool, which I'll try and put a little picture of that in, and just carefully de-threaded the top from the bottom, and they came apart super easy. Once I had both pieces separated, I pinned the shorts together on the top to create, so there wouldn't be like a big old hole there. And just pinned it and then laid the top out. And as I was inspecting the fabric, I realized like if I folded it and sewed a hem, it was likely that this type of fabric would roll, or like start to roll and just kind of be irritating while wearing it. So I took what is supposed to be heat and bond to help with hemlines, and I decided to put that on top of the fabric and wrap the fabric over it to try and create that thick seam that is on the side. And so I laid the hem bond stuff as so, pinned it to the fabric, and then I folded over the pins that I had done originally, and I repinned it so that it would hold that shape and give it a little bit extra strength. As you can see, I then pinned the top layer, and then my idea was to basically copy the hems that were already on the side. How it's like a double stitch. There's one on the top and one on the bottom. So I'm just looking at everything. I want to match it up as close as possible. As you can see, they're not completely even, but it's not anything that anyone would notice, or should, unless they're neurotic. And so I ran it through my sewing machine, which honestly isn't my favorite thing to do. I do prefer to sew by hand, just because you end up getting these nasty, but you can when you're inexperienced with a sewing machine, get nasty little lines. So I just did my best to keep it as straight as possible to match up with the existing seam. Yep, it's a dark blue thread, so it does show like just a little bit, but to me it's not anything annoying. And so from there, the top was done, and I could move on to the shorts.
And then lastly we have the shorts. But it's an interesting stitch. See if I can zoom in here. It's stitched together like on the inside, if that makes sense. Come on, focus. Focus. Come on, I thought you were supposed to be like really good, iPhone. 12 hours later. See, there's little stitches in there. Basically, I'm trying to emulate that in where we took out the top. I'm definitely just doing that by hand because I hate sewing machines, but also I'm not sure how you do that with a sewing machine.
So in the end, I think everything took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours, just with the hand sewing that was involved too. And I ended up with, a separate pair of shorts and a separate top, which can be worn together or individually with other pieces. And as it turns out, it actually is 100% cotton, or so the tag says anyway. And I think by far the best thing is that it's so much less restrictive now. I can move my arms around, I can move around, and I don't have to worry about readjusting because the shorts are riding up or because the top is feeling tight. So it's just kind of awesome to feel really comfortable in it and to know that there probably isn't another outfit out there by the same brand that looks exactly the same way. I'm also just really happy that I'm upcycling some clothes, I guess, or reconfiguring clothes, just because it's a massive problem, fast fashion, that whole thing. So, yeah, but this is my outfit. I hope this gives you some inspiration for some ideas for maybe an injured outfit of your own or just something that isn't fitting right, and hopefully it'll spark some idea where you can fix it. Thanks for watching. It'd be great if you would thumb it up or subscribe, but I really don't want to be annoying like that, so I just hope you have a wonderful day and stay safe.